Hi guys, today we're going to do chicken and mushroom pies. Who does not like a good pie? And a couple of months ago at a specific restaurant here in the southern suburbs, I had a chicken pie that was so disappointing when you are anticipating a good pie. It was completely dry, completely flavorless, and it looked like somebody had chewed all the chicken for me and put it into the pie. So I figure, no, everybody needs to learn how to make a decent pie. So this is going to be a pie with a difference because it is a chicken and mushroom pie. But yesterday I made a salad and I did sauteed potatoes with some sumac and some cabbage. So I'm going to use some of those leftovers in the mixture as well, because that's a really good way of using up waste. And at the end of the day, it's going to cook down. It's just going to add flavor, and nobody's going to know that there's leftover salad in your pie. I can promise you. So here we have finely diced chicken thigh. Please note, people, small pieces so that somebody doesn't get a gobstopper piece of chicken that they don't know what to do with in their mouth. But it also, I can chew my own chicken. Don't chew it for me and put it in the pie. Do you know what I'm saying? So there we go. We've also got mushrooms. I'm going to do some onion and garlic, and then we are going to start cooking it down, letting it cool, and then we're going to assemble the pie. So I'm frying some onions and garlic, to which I will add my chicken pieces, not mush. But you can use leftover roast chicken, for example. You would add your cooked chicken to whatever you have decided is going to go into your pie as a last minute thing. It wouldn't have to be recooked. Just add it to it. So this is just going to go in. Here is the green salad that I've got, some lettuce, some mushrooms, some broccoli, a little bit of feta cheese, and the sauteed potato salady stuff, which I'm also going to add. So that'll just add body to it and make it taste nice. Putting in some thyme, because chicken and thyme is fabulous, and so is mushrooms with thyme. It's a beautiful mixture. So that is a good combo. And then some salt and pepper. And I'm going to add some lemon to this, or some sort of acid, because how could you have chicken and mushrooms without lemon? But we're going to wait for that. We're going to let this cook first, so that it gets a little bit of a fry going, and not poaching. I'm cutting up some fresh parsley, and I've got the zest of my lemon, which I'm going to use now in there. I'm also going to use a stock pot just to boost the flavor, because I am going to make it saucy with a bit of corn flour. And it's not a dry pie, like someone just spat it in there. Right, a little bit more. Then I'm going to make like a slurry and add the corn flour to this, and then at the end I'm going to add the salady stuff, because that's already been cooked and made, and I don't need it to get completely involved there. I've added a stock pot, and I've added 1 dessert spoon of corn flour with a little bit of water, and I'm going to add that. So when I say about not knowing quantities, you don't need to. I know the kind of amount of liquid I want in there. I'm guesstimating the amount of corn flour. If it's not right, I will either adjust it by adding more water or I'll add more corn flour. It's really quite simple. So I'm going to get some water just as a standby in case it sort of becomes a horrible, disgusting concrete mass, in which case I will quickly flood it with some water so that it isn't a hard, disgusting mess. But this is looking okay, especially because I'm now going to be adding potato and the rest of the stuff. So if you have a look here, you'll see the liquid that's in there, okay, and it's still going to thicken a little bit more, and it will thicken more when I add this. So in goes my leftover salad, which is a great way to use things up. And it's got, in the salad I used a dressing with balsamic vinegar. So balsamic vinegar and mushrooms and chicken is also, it's just going to add a different depth of flavour in there. So it should be quite a tasty little pie mixture, this. Okay, so you can see it's already now absorbed all the excess liquid. So I'm going to add a little bit more because it's just going to cook a little bit longer. And then I'm going to add the lemon zest. Lemon zest is a fantastic flavouring. And in fact, I make preserved lemons quite a lot. And I use them a lot in things like couscous salad, and they are just beautiful. And so my lemons are now starting to come off my tree. So I've got to start thinking of things to do with lemons, and preserved lemons is one of the things that I do. But this is just the zest. Right, in with the parsley. So that gives you a beautiful burst of freshness. Parsley is not a major flavourant, but it is delicious once you put it into a dish. I'm glad to see it's making a resurgence. Right, let's have a taste test because we need to know that everything has kind of come together. Oh, that's delish. That's good. So I can make a decision now. Do I want to add a few more potatoes to this? Because that makes it quite substantial, but I've only got one roll of puff pastry. So this is more than enough filling for that. So I'm going to stand by and just leave it as it is. So now I'm going to let this cool, because you can't put hot pie mixture into puff pastry. It doesn't work. So I'm just squishing this. It doesn't matter that there's too much juice in this one. Just prick it like that. I've just taken these out of the oven 20 minutes at 200. And I've done 3 different sizes for you to see. So there's sort of a big lady's purse. And then there's a sort of more elegant triangle. And then these are little hand pies, just that you can have it any time you want. And next I'm going to do little muffin pies so that they look more like pies and they're very convenient and easy to do. So we've done those ones. Now I'm busy doing little ones for my muffin tin, and I'm showing you how I do them because I've got the baking beads and so on. So I've just dropped one. So the reason I'm doing this is because it's puff pastry, and puff pastry is going to blow, so it'll sort of, puff up, and then you don't know what to do with it when it's like that. So I'm doing the base first. I could have put the filling in there and just baked them. But I learned this trick when I was working in a commercial kitchen to pre-do these little bases. And what you can do is then you can store these in the freezer, and when you need them you just pull them out and you've got a whole bunch of little cases that you can make your pies with. So it's an interesting way of doing it because you're cooking the base. When those are cooked, then I'm going to put the filling inside. Then I'm going to take raw puff pastry and I'm going to join it to the cooked one. And it works surprisingly well, actually. And it just makes life really easy. Once you've done all these little bases, you can put them in a bag and keep them in your freezer. And then when you're ready to do to make the actual pies, you just cut out a whole bunch of lids. And I tend to roll the bases out much thinner, and then the lids I keep a little bit thicker because then that looks beautiful, you know, when it puffs up nicely. And then it is so simple, you know, you need a tiny amount of filling. Chuck them in, great for kids' lunch boxes, snacks, you know, work food and all the rest of it. So we're going to put this in now to bake blind for about 10 minutes or so. So here we have the shells, which have been in the oven for 10 minutes. So I'm just going to take these out so that you can have a look. And I haven't over-baked them because they're going to go back into the oven for another 10-15 minutes or so once I have the filling inside and I've done the tops. So I've really roughly cut out tops. I've had to use a glass that is bigger than this, but the tops always need to be bigger than what you've actually got in your muffin tin. So I've just used that as a guide and cut bigger, which will make it easier for me. I will show you how to do one, and then I will crack on and do all the rest of them. So I'm filling these, and I'm going quite high. Normally I would use my large muffin tin, but as I've said countless times, it's in storage. So these will be small, bite-sized ones, really, which is good for cocktail parties, or, you know, just a snack, or, as I say, for lunch boxes and so on. So we're going to pile this up. Incidentally, you can make these and cook some apple down, apple and berries. You can do little apple pies. You can do jam tarts. You can do little custard tarts. You know, there's quite a lot of stuff you can do with these little pies. So you take the lid and you just brush some egg wash around the sides. Bring it over this thing, even though it's cooked, okay? And just sort of seal it there. And because it's been done one blast in the oven, it's going to be solid and you can hold it. So then just prick it like that, and then that will seal, and then you've got a little pie. So it's very convenient. Just a little bit of egg around the outside, and then I'm going to do an egg wash on the top of this as well. So you can actually put, if it's not a runny or liquid filling, you can actually put it quite a lot in to build it up quite high. But it's very convenient. I think that it's a marvelous method of making life really easy if you want to just do a whole bunch of pies without any fuss or anything like that. So here we have the mini pies. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to give them a little egg wash so that they look attractive. And then I'm going to bake them for about 10 minutes at about 200 degrees. All we want is for the top to cook, because the rest of it is all cooked now. So here are the finished pies. As you can see, they're perfectly sealed. They look great. And there they are. I mean, they're not too overly done. They're perfect. So we've got the big ones, the triangle ones, the small little semicircular ones, and then the small pot pies. Great way to use up all your leftovers or to do sweet pies. I've also got the leftover pastry doing jam inside the oven. So give it a bash. Have fun with it. We'll see you next time.